what's going on, everybody? Swinging Bull here with PB Alerts, and welcome to my earnings stream. I do every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Today we have MongoDB, which is ticker symbol MDB. Then we have ChargePoint, ticker symbol CHPT. Both of these stocks, I believe, are reporting at the same time. We just take a quick peek here. So MDB, which is MongoDB, they report at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. Their forecast EPS 0.66 and their forecast revenue 526.7 million. They were trading just above their anchored VWAP. Anchored VWAP's around 180 a share. And they closed the regular session at $199.73, up 3% on the day. Now they're sitting here. The regular session is officially closed. Closing bell just rang a little bit ago. MongoDB, they're a software company. Been bullish on software companies this year, but we just don't know because of what kind of guidance they're going to give out, how this is going to perform. But MongoDB, they're a developer data platform company. Going into the earnings, let's see here, free float 79 million. Okay. They did pull a profit on their last earnings. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going. Debt to asset ratio is only 18%. So it's a good company. Let's see if they can pull a profit again. ChargePoint reports also at 4:05 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to get the data for these at the same time. Forecast EPS negative 0.06. Forecast revenue 100.5 million. Now ChargePoint, they were trading a little bit above their anchored VWAP. Their anchored VWAP's around, probably call it like 70 cents a share. ChargePoint closed the regular session at 88 cents a share, up 14% on the day. They're sitting here not after hours awaiting the earnings data. What a choppy day today, I have to say. After a day like yesterday, I basically trended up for most of the day. Kind of figured today would be a mess. And it sure was a mess. I mean, basically trading in a range, like a $2 range. Like 596 to 598. So I guess if you traded the range and did calls at some of these support taps, maybe puts at some of these resistant taps. It looks like there was more chances for puts than calls today. Really sloppy price action day with SPY though, overall. I prefer to trade the trend days myself. Let's go back over to the candlesticks on ChargePoint and MongoDB. It's 4:03 p.m. Should get the data on these in just a few minutes. Just wanted to go over a few things real quick. Also, ChargePoint. If I remember, this company's financials aren't really too good. Yeah. I mean, year over year numbers have been improving somewhat, but this company just can't pull a profit. It's losing money every quarter. Even on the annual basis, they haven't pulled a profit in 5 years. So, of course, it's a penny stock, super high risk. I would probably only day trade ChargePoint. Wouldn't be holding this overnight at all. But I've been trading for a real long time, and I just don't hope with penny stocks anymore. It's just dangerous holding those things overnight. But I've had a lot of success day trading them, so no overnight risk. I like it. 4:04 p.m. Looks like MongoDB's getting a little pre-earnings jitters here. Let's see if this is the real move or not. It's catching a bit of a bid. Up $15 a share. Let's let it marinate just for a second. Make sure this is the real move, because sometimes that initial move is not the real move, right? Go back over here real quick. Okay, let me refresh my other screen and see if we got the data on MongoDB. Maybe they released a tad bit early. Don't see any data yet. Now, the implied move for MongoDB, $22 a share. It's at 18, 19 bucks a share right now, green, up almost 10%. Let's see if it can hold up here. Data's obviously out. As soon as I get the EPS and revenue, I'll post that for everyone. Charge points data should be out as well. They're kind of getting a negative reaction. I'll go back to trading view. Just going to look at these 5-minute charts for a second. MongoDB's last earnings reaction, they were down like 27%. The time before that, down 17%. 3 earnings ago, they were up 18%. So MongoDB's coming off 2 back-to-back negative earnings reactions. Looks like they're finally getting a positive one now. They're up over 20. They're at basically the expected move, 22 bucks a share. Charge point selling off. Typical penny stock. No offense to the charge point bulls, but you know, I like the idea of the company. You know, obviously has a lot to do with charging EVs and stuff like that, but that fundamentally and more financially, the company's garbage. No offense, but that's what we got. I know ChargePoint kind of has a big social media kind of meme-ish type following. So it is what it is. It's definitely not a stock I would have in my longer term account. Okay. Like I say, I would only day trade those kind of penny stocks, but they're getting a negative reaction. They're down 11% in after hours. We go back to MongoDB just for a sec. That's probably why most people are here. Pretty big software company. Okay, I got the results for MongoDB. Let's just go over that just for a sec. So again, the forecast EPS was 0.66. They just reported $1 EPS. That beat by 52%. Forecast for the revenue, 527.4 million. They just reported 549 million, so they beat revenue by 4%. Very good for a software company. Revenue is a big line item investors are looking at. So they beat revenue, that's great. Smashed EPS by 52%. EPS up 96% year over year. Revenue is up 22% year over year. So some pretty good double-digit growth on EPS and revenue as far as the year over year numbers go. It looks like they're catching a bid so far, so they're up 24 bucks a share. They've surpassed the expected move. Let me look at a few other things here. Let's just move this back over to the side real quick. So MongoDB's results are out. They've got some really good revenue growth, really good EPS growth. Let me post this EPS and revenue data on YouTube. There we go. Let's put it on the bottom of my screen for everyone so you can see the revenue and EPS. Let's see if I can find something better to post here. Okay. All right, so that's MongoDB. Let's go to ChargePoint just for a sec. Okay, so we got EPS revenue on MongoDB. Okay, it's good. It's good data. Okay. It's looking like ChargePoint, well, it's trying to come back up. Looked all the way down to 76 cents a share. Now it's at 82 cents a share after closing the regular session at 88 cents a share. Let's check a few other things out. Still waiting on ChargePoint data. I'm going to go to their investor relations page real quick. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so let's take a look here. We got the financial results. Also, the web call with the earnings web call is at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. That's for ChargePoint. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and post the link for the ChargePoint earnings web call. Let me get this posted here. CHPT. earnings web call. And let me go ahead and just paste the link here for everyone. There we go. All right, so hopefully everyone can see that link. You can screenshot that. That'll take you to the ChargePoint web call. That's in about 20 minutes. MongoDB still pumping, up almost $30 a share. It's looking like a congrats to the MongoDB bulls, that's for sure. I would think if that initial move was not the real move, it probably would have pulled back by now. Let me go here. MN Preston. No, I'm not going to be streaming the web call for ChargePoint. Let me see here, but I do got the link for you. If you want to screenshot that, you can easily get to the call. All right, let's look at a couple other things real quick. Okay, ChargePoint first quarter revenue $98 million. Let's see here, subscription revenue of $38 million, representing 14% year-over-year growth. All right, let me look at a few other things. A couple business highlights from ChargePoint. ChargePoint announced a new AC product architecture that will feature bidirectional charging and will underpin future AC charging models sold across North America and Europe, with variants being designed for commercial, residential, and fleet applications. ChargePoint announced an industry-first partnership with Eaton Corporation, an intelligent power management company in which the companies will integrate EV charging and infrastructure solutions and co-develop new technologies to advance vehicle-to-everything capabilities. That's the V2X. Got the fiscal year or second quarter guidance. So for the second quarter ending July 31st, of course, ChargePoint expects revenue of $90 million to $100 million. And of course, we just went over the conference call information. That's 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Links on the bottom of my screen. That'll take you right to it. They might ask you to fill out like a form with your name and email, but that's fine. You're not going to get spammed or anything. Let's look at some forward-looking statements here. Well, that was kind of in the guidance already. Let me go back a few pages. Look at MongoDB. Still going. MongoDB up to almost $29 a share. Okay, I'm gonna put the. Give me 1 second here. All right, so ChargePoint did miss revenue. Okay, and the revenue was down 9% year over year. They did not pull a profit. They had a net loss of minus 57 million. So again, they're not able to pull a profit again. But the new partnership with the Eaton Corporation, that's going to be positive for them. It's not all bad. Here's a little graphic from for ChargePoint. So the forecast revenue was 100.5 million. They just reported 97.6. So they did miss revenue. They beat EPS just by a little bit. So they beat the forecast. They get a green check mark there, but EPS still negative. It'd be nice if they could start pulling a profit at some point. Probably get a lot more attention from investors if they could do that, but not a profitable company. They have not been profitable for the past 5 years. It almost makes you wonder, like, what in the hell are these people doing, you know? But it is what it is. So still haven't been able to become profitable, unfortunately. And they're selling off here. They're down about 8.5%. Yeah, it could be. InfoJew on YouTube. I mean, I think one of the main positive thing with their earnings is that partnership with Eaton Corporation. It's not all bad. Okay, so they are kind of saying that they plan on being profitable in 2026. So something to keep in the back of your mind, as we get into 2026. that's probably going to be make or break for them. Is if they're saying in advance, hey, we're looking to be profitable in 2026, and then 2026 rolls around and we get to like the second half and they're still not profitable, that's probably going to piss some investors off. But we'll see. You never know. We've seen comeback stories before. We've seen stocks, as penny stocks and end up catching a bid and doing well because of their performance from earnings and stuff like that. Maybe ChargePoint's one of them. It's just still too early to tell. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Do they have enough cash to make it to 2026? And if not, what's coming around the corner there. Offering, or might do a reverse split as well, if they can't get back above $1. But definitely if they're low on cash, let's take a look what they had in cash coming into this. I'll just go to the balance sheet real quick. Okay, 224 million coming into the earnings. That's what they reported January 31st, 2025. Their cash and equivalents was like 225 million basically. So the question is that enough runway to get them to 2026? That is the question for ChargePoint. And just kind of zooming in on the quarterly, looks like they lose about 60 million to 100 million, kind of in that range every quarter. So, they still got Q2 earnings, of course, to report. Q2 ends July 31st. Then they got Q3 and Q4. So, 3 more quarters. And if their cash balance is kind of similar to end of Q1, 225, it's going to be close. It's going to be close, right? 3 quarters left in the year. If they burn more than an average of 75 a quarter, they might not have runway to get to 2026 and probably do. I mean, their let's see, their debt to asset ratio is 84%. A little bit on the high side. It's going to be an issue they're going to have to deal with for the remainder of this year, whether they have enough cash to make it or not. If not, of course, they're going to probably do an offering, and if they can't get back above $1 and they don't get any extensions, it's probably looking like reverse split. Let's hope that partnership with the Eaton Corporation really gives them a nice little nudge. Let me refresh my screen here. Almost 4:20 p.m. Eastern. I want to post this ChargePoint information here real quick. Give me 1 second, everybody. Okay, let me read a statement from the CEO of ChargePoint. In Q1, ChargePoint continued to improve key metrics, including subscription margin and overall gross margin, while also announcing partnerships and products that are expected to deliver meaningful growth. That was said by Rick Wilmer, the CEO. Okay, let's go back here. I'm going to post a little snippet here. Let's see if YouTube lets me fit all this into one post. Okay, I'm going to post this real quick. Hopefully, okay, good. They did let me fit it all down there. So just some info about ChargePoint on the bottom of my screen. Matt asks if I can see your comments. Yes, I can see your comment. Looks like you're commenting from Twitter. So Matt, yes, I can definitely see your comments. Welcome to the show. MongoDB looking really good. I've been telling the Discord all year almost. I've been bullish on software companies all year. Looking to net, ticker symbol NET. I've been trading that lately and basically been trading net since last summer and made quite a bit of money on it. That's a software company. Software companies should do well this year. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me see if I can find some ChargePoint comments about anything. I would expect some of the comments I'm seeing is just a bunch of kind of sugarcoating and grandioso comments. Not really seeing anything regarding the reverse split yet, but they're probably going to talk about that at the earnings call, maybe. That's at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, so in 10 minutes. Okay, ChargePoint stands as the world's largest EV charging network, boasting over 1 million charging ports across North America and Europe. That was from the Yoda investor on Twitter. Let's see if it ends up maybe retracing back. I mean, let's see if maybe the bottom's in at 75 cents a share. We'll see. We'll know here soon. Okay, Matthew used to work at both ChargePoint and Eaton. Very cool. Let me see if I can, let me go back up here to the top of my screen. I would think they'll probably confirm a lot of things at that earnings call. And that's at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Now, ChargePoint's subscription revenue is up 14% year over year. They brought in $38 million for their subscription revenue. It just would be really nice if they could start pulling a profit, but like some of the commenters said on YouTube and Twitter, I guess their goal is to become profitable in 2026. So, and again, the question is, do they have enough cash or runway per se to make it to 2026? They're going to be cutting it close. If their cash balance is around what they reported at the end of January, it's going to be close. They reported around 225 million in cash and equivalents at the end of January. So, maybe that's gone down a little bit. I don't know. We can probably see if it's gone, maybe it's gone down a little bit based on the previous. Let me just go to balance sheet real quick. It's kind of all over the place, their cash balance. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Overall kind of trending down, their cash balance, and that's because they're burning cash every quarter. Yeah, Matthew, that's kind of what I'm thinking. The upper management will probably bring that up during the earnings call, and definitely answer the question, I would think. And I do agree. Could be an acquisition play because, they definitely have assets. They have almost, the last time they reported their assets, they reported about $1 billion in assets. So kind of like what Matthew says on YouTube, could definitely be an acquisition play. So like, for instance, it's, close the regular set. Well, it's trading right now around 80 cents. So if there is some sort of acquisition deal in the future, maybe they get bought out at like, $1, $2 a share or something. And then that's going to be your upside there. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Yeah, that's a good point, Matthew. That the whole Eaton deal, the Eaton Corporation deal, maybe that's tying in into a game plan of kind of prepping for an acquisition. That's actually a good thinking there. I could definitely see that. Okay, good stuff. Thanks for the comments, Matthew, and of course Preston. I want to go back to MongoDB just for a second. I mean, it's looking like we got our ChargePoint reaction. It may start bottoming out. Maybe 75 was the floor. Just going to kind of keep your eyes on it. See if it starts trading sideways. Perhaps starts making some higher lows. Matter of fact, let me go back to trading view. Kind of spotty price action, kind of sloppy, right? Got lots of little mini gaps in the candles. I mean, it's got 35 million volume today, which is about 3x the 30-day average. Just real spotty price action on this in after hours. Let me go the other way with this. So, if you're trying to trade this in after hours, not financial advice, but just some easy levels to keep in mind. For ChargePoint, support level number 1, obviously going to be the after hours low, 75 cents a share. Resistance levels. I mean, I'm probably just going to call this R1 is going to be 80 cents. R2, probably around 84 cents. I'd like to see those levels get reclaimed. The golden ratio is right around 84 cents. So if it can get back above 84, maybe it's on, it's on to something and start retracing these levels. Excuse me 1 second. My phone's ringing. Put that on mute for the time being. Okay, so we got charge point, revenue, and EPS. And again, just to recap, they did miss revenue. They beat EPS by a little bit. Let me go back to MongoDB because they're definitely the winner today. They closed the regular session at $199.73, up 3% on the day. They're sitting here in after hours, up 25 bucks a share. It's looking like a congrats to the MongoDB bulls for sure. I think if it was going to reverse, it probably would have done that by now. Let's see. S1 on MongoDB, probably about $222 a share. S2, probably put that 50% retrace around $215 a share. Obviously, resistance 1 is the after hours high. Pretty easy. Okay, almost 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Just want to let me show everyone that some of these open trades I got. I always share my Fidelity account with all the Discord members. They know all the trades I usually have open. This account has about 29,000 in it. Actually started a new wheel strategy on Ford today. Sold 2 cash secured puts at the $10 strike. Collected a little bit of credit. Not getting rich off it, of course, but Ford's been the easiest trade for a while. Like I said, you're not going to get rich overnight on it, but easy, consistent income time and time again. I've gotten off Ford. The last Ford trade I did before these cash secured puts I opened today, I did a dividend capture strategy. Their ex-div date for the dividend they just paid out on Monday, matter of fact, was May 12th. So a few days before May 12th, or it was like the week before May 12th, I did what's called a buy plus right strategy. I bought a few hundred shares. Then I simultaneously sold covered calls against my shares. The expiration date for my covered calls was after the ex-div date to ensure I was owner of record on their ex-div date. And it was kind of like a triple income play I got on the last Ford trade I did, because my shares ended up getting called away. That was after the ex-div date, but I made profit from my cost basis to my covered call strike. I also made profit from the premium I collected on the covered calls. And then I made a third way of profiting from collecting the dividend. So that was like a triple income play for me. And it was just the easiest trade. Ford's so easy to trade, especially when they're around the $10 level. So I sold 2 cash secured puts at the $10 strike today. Got 14 bucks a contract after commission, a little more than $13 a contract, which means if I do get assigned at 10 for whatever reason, my cost basis, you do the math real quick, right? You just take your covered call strike, or I'm sorry, your cash secured put strike, and subtract the credit you received. So if I do get assigned at 10, I'll just be sitting on a cost basis of 9.87, and then I'll turn around and start selling covered calls on it. But their next ex-div date, I think, is in July, and then they pay out again in early August, I think. So that was one trade I did today. Also have 10 cash secured puts on JetBlue. Easy money on JetBlue anytime it's trading around $5. That's another one. It's like having a little ATM machine in my office. I did 10 lot size on that trade. 450 cash secured put. Expires in about 16 more calendar days. Don't got to wait long on it at all. I got 23 bucks a contract on these JetBlue cash secured puts. After commission, My cost basis is a little over 22 bucks a pop. Of course, I sold 10 of them, so that brought in $223.21 in income on that trade. This AT&T put, this is dated September 19th. I am not technically short on AT&T, even though I do own a put option. The deal with this put option is I'm using it as collateral to sell weekly cash secured puts on AT&T, which of course is bullish. So I actually just cashed out my weekly trade for this week earlier today. I showed all the Discord members, everything, the money I made. So basically, I'm just rinse and repeating the weekly cash secured put on AT&T, but I'm using my September 19th put as collateral, which reduces my buying power needed for the weekly cash secured puts by like 80–90%. So that's why that put is sitting there. It's not sitting there because I'm bearish on AT&T. It's sitting there because I'm using it as collateral. You can see I got four contracts on that. So every single week I can sell 4 cash secured puts on AT&T to target weekly income. So those are my current trades on my Fidelity account. I'm also wheeling, I'm doing the wheel strategy on my Schwab account on Himex. They're a semiconductor company. So I got an open wheel on that company. And then I have an open wheel on Mira, believe it or not. Mira wheel's going just fine. We've made a lot of money on Mira. Basically, anytime it's trading between 10 and 20, kind of around that range, I like to wheel it. And it's been paying some good money every time we've wheeled it. And of course, Mira's been doing good as Bitcoin's been doing good. So yeah, just to kind of give everyone an idea of the types of trades I do. And also on my Schwab account, I also have a SPY put debit spreads as a downside hedge. And that's just, you know, if SPY wants, if the markets want to sell off from here, well, instead of sitting on the sidelines and crying the blues, I'm going to be making money. All right, that's what the hedge is for. So I like to play both ways. And also the risk reward on my hedge trades, I like it to be really good. I prefer double-digit or triple-digit returns on my hedges. That way, if I do have to utilize the hedge, I know I'm going to get paid some decent money. And of course, the amount of money that I allocate to my hedge is only a fraction of the amount of money I stand to make on my long positions. So that's kind of how I hedge. And it works out great. Let's go back to the sticks on MongoDB. They're holding up really nicely. They're still up 25 bucks a share. They were up $30 a share. They're taking a little bit of a breather. These are 5-minute candles. Taking a little bit of a breather, but still hasn't even retraced 25% yet from the initial pump. 25% retracer with about 222 a share. That's S1. S2 is probably 215 a share. Then of course you got the golden ratio around 211 a share. That's we definitely, you know, for the bulls we don't want breaking below 211. That would not be good. So golden ratio holds. That's great. Better yet, above that, I'd say S2 215, S1 222. It's going to be that 25% retrace. So just some levels for MongoDB, easy levels you can keep your eyes on. Charge point kind of stalled out in a good way as far as the selling goes. So the selling has stalled out. Again, pretty spotty price action, but S1 moving forward, 75 cents a share. I mean, that's the after hours low. Resistance 1 on the top side of the price, 80 cents. And then the golden ratio, about 83 cents. If those levels don't get reclaimed, you know, my confidence on this actually retracing this selling is going to be pretty low. But it's a little after 4:30. Let me show everyone how to get to MongoDB earnings call. I'm going to put the link up for the charge point earnings call because that just started about 4 minutes ago. Give me one sec. So there's the link for the ChargePoint earnings call that's going on right now. If anyone wanted to jump over to that, I'll get the MongoDB earnings web call information, and then that'll probably be a wrap for today. Okay, let's check it out. MongoDB investor relations. Okay, here's the earnings call. MongoDB's earnings call is at 5 p.m. Eastern. So about 25 more minutes. Okay. And let's just see what the link looks like. Okay, the link is manageable. I'll put the link for MongoDB on the bottom of my screen now. Everyone should have had a chance to screenshot the ChargePoint link. There's the MongoDB earnings call link. If anyone wants to screenshot that, it'll get you right to the earnings call. Starts in 25 minutes, okay? But yeah, with that said, that's kind of all we got for today. We got the earnings reactions. MongoDB, of course, had an initial positive reaction, and it's holding up quite nicely. ChargePoint, negative reaction, but the price action's a bit sloppy, a bit spotty. I think spotty is the better word for it. But initial negative reaction, it is a high-risk penny stock. They're aiming to be a profitable company by 2026. We were talking about this earlier. Just keep your eye on their cash and equivalents. And for the bulls, you know, you want to make sure they got enough cash slash runway to make it to next year. And just keep your eye on their next earnings, especially when they report Q2 earnings. And as we get closer to the end of the year, if they start running out of cash, you best believe they're going to do an offering, and they need to get back above $1, okay, soon, or they're going to end up reverse splitting. And to my understanding, I think that there's already been talks of a reverse split. I'm not sure what the details are on that. They might be talking about it during their earnings web call that's actually going on right now. So. But yeah, with that said, that's all I got for today. It's been about 40 minutes. My name's the Swinging Bull with PB Alerts. I do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I think what I'm going to start doing moving forward is actually showing everyone my Fidelity account live. I'll let you know what trades I'm trading. And, you know, of course, if you want to know the details of these trades, why I'm entering them and stuff like that, you're going to have to join the Discord. There is a free link in the description where you can join for free and see how you like it. But yeah, if you're looking for a new home, come check us out. You know, if you join the Discord, tag me in the chat. I go by the Swinging Bull. Tag me in the chat. I'll come by and say hello, and we can chat a little bit about your situation and maybe see how I can help you out. But yeah, other than that, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their night. And of course, if you're looking for a new home and you join the Discord, I definitely look forward to meeting you. But until next time, I'll see everyone in the next stream tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Cheers and have a good night.